It's 5 a.m. right now. I have been up all night. I have not slept one single second. Instead of sleeping, scrolled on Twitter for a little bit. I was listening to the Joe Dispenza meditations of creating a new mind. I was literally listening to him in a room with 100 people, physically explaining the chemistry inside of your brain and the magnetic forces inside of there that are going to create the life that you want, that are going to like have a new emotion and have, oh, I should not be on this road, have a new emotion and have different feelings, different thoughts, different behaviors, different actions. So it's a little bit funny because here I am running around the middle of the forest, following God, following my quote-unquote instincts, just acting off of emotion, reacting to my environment. Literally, I'm just cruising around and it's 5 a.m. and I still have not slept. But I have not smoked any weed. Because why would I do something that makes my mind smaller and slows me down? I ate 2 steaks. I ate like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eggs. I had a little bit of garlic bread, had some apples, some honey, I had a potato, some cheese. But at the end of the day, your results are what matters. Your results are what matters. Not your intentions, not your emotions, not your process. It's never the process. It's never the physical sensations. The only thing that matters is the spirit, the identity. Are you a person who wins? Are you a person who keeps his word? Are you a person who does what he said he was going to do? Or are you fucking gay? It's real quiet out on the lake. Don't know how much you can see, but the water is like glass. God, this place is beautiful. Put my blunt down on the ground. But as long as I'm staying in the present moment, as long as I'm working towards something, as long as I am consciously trying to move in the same direction. But maybe that's my mistake. Emotions and feelings and acting off the spirit is not what is going to get me where I want to go. I can fucking watch as many videos as I want. I can watch as much survival content. I can run around outside in the woods and take as much shrooms as I want. It just makes me understand that your feelings and instincts are motivators for action. Emotions are just motivators for action. When I look over the edge of a cliff, that's the fear response. It gets smaller, weaker, more shallow. Your breaths become really small and tight. If I see somebody who is trying to attack me, who is less powerful than me, then I'm going to raise my spirits. I'm going to become more powerful. I'm going to rise to the challenge. And that's just it. Are you going to rise to the challenge? Or are you going to cower down in weakness? It's like what Tate says. There is absolutely no benefit to cowardice. There's no benefit to cowardice. So why would you ever fucking be a coward? It doesn't make sense. So I'm literally on the verge of getting fired from my solar panel job because I'm not respecting my managers and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I almost crashed my car several times. I need a reality check. I've stayed up all night. I had a cigar later this night. And then that cigar got me in the mood. Pretty high water level. And that cigar got me in the mood to eat food. And then I ate a steak and some eggs, some bread, and some apples and honey. And it was good. And I just need to realize that no matter how shallow my thoughts are, no matter how narrow my brain pathways are, I've always been in control, no matter what. I have absolute control and I have absolute clarity. The only thing that exists, the only thing that is real is right now. That's the only thing that's real. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. The only thing that exists is right now. So what are you going to do about that? Are you going to say, oh, cool, let me just avoid the present moment and waste all of this time, and instead of being a blessed child of God, worshiping the present moment, the greatest gift God could give you, the present moment, are you really going to squander your blessings and just fucking succumb to instant gratification and just waste all of your time? It's like, what do I really want in life? I just want to feel good. I just want to be free from pain, and I want to be free. I want to be in control. I want to have freedom. That's what anybody ever wants. The most powerful man in the world, it's not the richest, not the strongest. It's the man who is the most free, the man who can do whatever he likes. And in order to do that, you have to control a lot of other people. You have to become extremely powerful, a ruler of sorts. Do you understand? So how long are you going to wait before you become obsessed with the acquisition of resources? How long are you going to wait before you take life seriously? How much more time are you going to waste? You're not getting any younger. Unless the placebo effect, haha. But literally step by step, day by day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. All I have to do is just smoke cigars, drink coffee, eat extremely clean, which I've already been doing, and just fucking trust God. Thank you, God. Literally, you have always wanted the same thing. You've always wanted to adapt to your environment. You've always wanted to become better. You've always wanted to avoid pain. You've always wanted to chase dopamine. If I put you in an environment where everybody is a fucking 6'5" shredded athlete and all they do is exercise, you are going to blend into that environment. You're going to chase dopamine, avoid pain. You're going to try to blend in with the tribe, and you're going to try not to become an outcast. So you're going to rely on your strengths and hide your insecurities. That's what is going to happen no matter what since the beginning of human time, and that's what's always going to happen. The funny part is, the greater the insecurity, the greater the strength of the behavior that overcompensates it. It's a shield. So nowadays, the most insecure people that I have ever met are always the ones who can't even hold eye contact. They have no energy. They just want to look down. Their brain waves are functioning in high beta pretty much all of the time. And what that means is they're just reacting to their environment. They're stressed, anxious, scanning the immediate close environment around them to escape current pains. Living in constant fear and pain, trying to escape. That's what that means. But at the end of the day, the only thing that is real is human consciousness, what the human brain perceives. Oftentimes, me and my cousin, Alex Burgers, who I'm living with, we'll joke around with each other. Alex will say well, I'll ask him, did he go to the gym? And he'll be like, no, I did not go to the gym because I'm tired. And then he'll accidentally after that, he'll be like, is what I would say if I wasn't the most shredded man ever. And it's like, everybody knows that the placebo effect is real. Everybody knows that as a human, you have a conscious choice. But some people have a greater level of consciousness than others. Some people can recruit more oxygen and actually transmute the oxygen molecules into force production. So when you act when you try to move through the world, are you transmuting your oxygen, your breath, into force production? Or are you translating your oxygen into stress avoidance and pain and stress mitigation? Literally, you always have a choice. Your brain is always going to decide between ones and zeros, dopamine and pain. Regardless of who you are, regardless of how smart you think you are, regardless of how conscious you think you are. It doesn't matter how fucking mentally, willpower, how strong you are going to avoid dopamine and, you're going to avoid pain and chase dopamine, whether you like it or not. Whether you're Chinese, you're African, you're white, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter who you are. Elon Musk wakes up, he looks at his phone, there's a bunch of notifications, there's a bunch of missed calls, a bunch of problems to solve. He avoids pain and chases dopamine. So all day, he's reacting to his environment, solving problems, giving orders, and exerting force into the universe. Force production. He is a big mover. Same thing with Tate, same thing with Trump, same thing with all these big names, right? So how does a man become so extremely powerful simply just by relying on his instincts? Well, most other men all have dreams of grandeur. They all want to be powerful. Everybody wants to be a king. Everybody wants to be looked at, respected. Everybody wants to be listened to. And why is that important? The main reason I can think of is because we all have a base level of survival instincts. Every single human on this planet, we all have a base defense mechanism to where we're not going to take that shit anymore. Like, we all have a fucking red line. Everybody has standards. Some people have much higher standards than others. I will run around all day fasting. No food, no water, fasting. Only oxygen. Me versus the doors. And every single door that I knock on, it makes me more shredded, it makes me more powerful. And the whole reason why I was justifying to myself that I could waste as much time as possible and become as addicted to drugs as possible is because I knew when I became the man I told myself I was going to be, when I got to the other side of that, I was going to change the fucking world. The most inspirational man on the planet, the light in the darkest of voids. When I was going through like horrible active addiction when I was in college, I was literally going to the supermarket, going to the store, stealing a bunch of candy and food and junk food and shit, gorging myself while doing drugs, literally gorging myself, eating so much fucking horrible food and poison and candy and doing drugs to the point where I would force myself to throw up all of the food. And every single time I did that, every single time I force-fed, myself junk food poison and did a bunch of drugs and then literally induced vomiting to throw up, the vision that I had in my mind was that I was going to return, I was going to save the entire world. The reason why I was so willing to delay the inevitable for so long is because subconsciously on the other side of that wall, I believed that I was destined. It was destiny. I did not have to work for it. It was guaranteed. I didn't have to try, didn't have to make any effort. It was a guarantee that if I could just stop this addiction, then I would not have to try or use any willpower, and it would be easy and effortless to get everything I want. That is not the case. That is not the case. It's not the case. So you have to understand there are greater forces at play than just you and your brain and your thoughts and your little plans and your fucking iPhone and your money. There are bigger forces at play. The magnetic forces that draw the sun to the moon and the planets and the stars. The universe is an ocean of motion. It's all just fucking random. It's all just moving around, right? Like, there is no such thing as a lack of movement. There's no such thing as stopping. I challenge any scientist in the entire fucking universe, in the whole world, to give me an object that has no magnetic charge whatsoever. Because there is no such thing as 0 point energy. There's no such thing as stopping. Because it's like, if you ever remember Bill Nye the Science Guy, absolute zero, when all molecules are completely ceased motion, they've stopped motion, when it gets that cold, like 0 degrees Celsius, that is a theoretical limit. It doesn't physically exist. Like, I can't go into a lab and cool something down so cold to where it completely stops all movement, because that's not the nature of our reality. You cannot stop the movement of the sun and the stars. You cannot stop the magnetic forces that are driving humanity to fight and survive every single day. Do you know what you can control, though? You can control your thoughts, your beliefs, your subconscious actions. So right now, I'm trying to remain in the present moment as long as I physically can. I'm walking around. I'm getting bit by mosquitoes right now. I'm getting bit by bugs. I'm like slapping myself and shit. And I just crashed. But I would much rather be going through this extreme difficulty and struggle and actually exert my fucking brain and willpower and use this energy to move me forward. I could be laying down in my bed, fucking watching bullshit, consuming bullshit, slowing myself down, rewarding myself, making myself stay in the same place, bruh. Why would you want to stay in the same place? It is a fallacy. It is a lie, because there is no such thing as staying in the same place. The nature of man is evolution. And weakness will not persist in an ever-evolving universe. Isn't it funny how every winter and every summer, everything grows and everything shrinks back down? Everything gets fluffy and beautiful and bright and abundant. Everything becomes cold and dark and scarce and broken, right? By definition, the cyclical nature of the seasons, right? Only the strong are going to survive. It is a competition. The more evolved, the more adapted for acquiring energy, power, the organisms that are best suited to acquire energy, to acquire power, are going to evolve and become more powerful. The ones who can't get enough energy, the ones who can't get enough power, are going to be destroyed and forgotten. To the dust they will return, and you with it. So, throw open the window of your soul to the sun. If you do not, the sun will soon set, and you with it. So literally, I've been typing in my Google document. I've literally created my 3-step plan, my online digital product that I'm going to sell. And I have to fucking change the world. Like, I've literally wanted this for so fucking long. And every single time I tell myself I can't. Every single time I slow myself down. Every single time I have ever taken the edge off, slowed myself down, rewarded myself, stayed in the same place, every single fucking time I've regretted it. Because every single time the devil, Satan, can only offer you choices. Satan says, sacrifice this current present moment for some imaginary dream reality that does not exist. It is a psychic force that is taking over your conscious brain. It is the definition of a demonic spirit. If you've ever seen someone who's having a really difficult time, they say he's fighting demons, and it's like, demons, when people say that, oh, he's fighting demons, haha. Literally what that means is because we all understand that demons take control of your conscious power, your conscious control. So what things in my life completely take over control of my body. And that would be my spinal, like hip and back pain stress. That completely takes control of my body and it ceases my function and movement. The negative fear pathways of, what's the word I'm looking for? The negative fear pathways of weed or scarcity of, what's the word I'm looking for? Addiction. Addiction and instant gratification, survival, fear, escape. I don't want the escape, fear, instant gratification pathway. It's not needed. And the only thing that's happening when that happens is either my back or my spine hurts. That's one. I'm sitting somewhere consuming social media content where my eyes are glued to a screen and my brain is motionless and it's off and it's mush. Or I'm just like sitting with bad posture, not doing anything, not remaining present. God gives you waking hours and you fucking waste them. But life is nothing else other than an opportunity to laugh. Don't you understand? When I wake up and I ask myself, what is the greatest expression of myself I can be today? What is the greatest possible expression of myself I could be today? And that would be the light in the darkest of voids, because there is absolutely no other purpose on this planet other than succumbing to feeling and trusting feeling. So when I knock on somebody's door and I say, hey there, how are you doing today? Awesome. I hope you're having the best day ever. Hey. Awesome. Yeah, Mr. Smith. I hope you're having the best. Hey. Awesome. But I'm in control. And do you know what I choose to do with my time? I choose to speak into my phone. I choose to build the repetitive skill, the repetitive pathway of creating thoughts using my brain and forcing my energy out into the universe where it is actually going to be realized, where it becomes real. Tate says, or no, what does Alex Ramosi say? I guess they all say it, but it's like, instead of manifesting and jumping and doing breathing exercises and fucking looking into a mirror or whatever, instead of trying to convince yourself that you're some great, powerful person, how about you build up a huge amount of evidence that shows for a fact that you guarantee you are who you say you are. So when I go to a job interview and I could just say, hey, look at my YouTube channel. Every single day for months and months and months, I have posted and uploaded videos, because what's the other option? Like if I'm sitting at home and I'm bored and I want to do something with my time, would I rather whip out my phone and start speaking and try to motivate the people who are eventually going to watch these videos to break their old subconscious, like emotional habits that they keep becoming addicted to and they keep repeating all day? Or am I going to fucking be a gay homosexual addict and just consume and stay in the same place and reward myself? It's so fucking gay. But God always has the answer. So if you don't have what you want, get more shredded. If you were a fucking 5% body fat, explosive, powerful athlete who got everything you wanted, you wouldn't be unhappy. Like, even if you were working the same job you are now, had the same amount of money, living in the same environment, if you were a fucking shredded 5% body fat, contractile tissue beast of a man, don't you think that your life would be better? Literally. Actually, think about it this way. The reason why shredded, force production, powerful, muscular athletes are sought after, and the reason why they are attractive, is because they go through more difficulty, more hardship. It's like when I see a guy smoking cigarettes, lifting fucking heavy construction work, doing labor, hard labor, and smoking cigarettes, tobacco all day. When I talk to him, I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? He's like, yeah. When I talk to him, he's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? the guy who exercises and smokes cigarettes all day, when he talks, every single fiber of his being is recruited. It's like he has a pump in the gym. When I work out and exercise a muscle, tons of blood flow goes to that area and it becomes more powerful, it grows, and it actually stays in that pathway for a long period of time. Like muscle memory is a real thing. If I get a pump in the gym and then I eat food, I'm going to grow. I'm going to be bigger the next day. It's the same thing with your brain. It's the same thing with everything. The same thing with your tendons, your bones, your bone structure, everything. You can literally have hypertrophy of the muscles by exercise and hypertrophy of the brain via willpower and discipline. So if you're done wasting time, if you're done consuming and rewarding yourself and staying in the same place, and you're ready to actually exert your fucking balls and go out into the world and take what is yours and use force production, go through some fucking struggle, hit the oil rig, nigga. Go to war. You need a battle to fight. You need some path to follow. Then you need my little ebook. You need my digital product. Because after reading it, I promise you, you will be addicted to success. It's not that hard. Like, I can do it. I was in and out of rehab for fentanyl when I was a high schooler. Bro, I was literally in and out of rehabs when I was a teenager, bro. I failed out of college. I was ostracized from society. I fell super deep into the addictive pathways. Slowly but surely, with God on my side, I reclaimed my power, and now I'm a king. I'm shredded. So, what is the answer? What am I doing right now that's fucking my life up? And that is not respecting God, not respecting the present moment, and not respecting time. Because time is moving on. You can't stop the seasons. You can't stop the rain. But you can stop yourself. So time is going to move on. Am I going to just keep speaking into my phone, doing the same thing, expecting different results? Or am I going to actually apply myself, use my conscious brain and my conscious resources to create something that matters? Right now, I'm literally walking in circles, talking out of my ass, just trying to just dream up some idea that I think will be worth it, that I think people would want to listen to. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just trusting God. I'm trusting the Spirit. Every single time you delay gratification, every single time you say, I am going to work harder and not reward myself until I win, until I finish the task. That is what's going to turn you into a superhero. But you can't have it both ways. You can't be extremely disciplined all of the time and also live in constant reward and just consumption and have an empty mind. If you want this life, you are going to have to try. If you want this life, it's going to be difficult. If you want this life, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be shallow. It's not going to take no effort. You can't just sit there and look at it and expect it to happen. People that stand there and watch things happen and talk about what happened are literally prey reacting to their environment, and then they're going to go right back to consuming. If you see like a deer or an elk in the woods, they're literally eating grass all day, and then they hear you, they hear a twig snap in the woods, like, oh shit, they're looking around, scanning the environment. Oh my God, what's happening? Looking around. Oh my God, what's happening? Looking around, really no brain activity, shallow, looking around. And then once the threat has passed, or once they've escaped the threat and they found a small little escape pathway, once the fear response happens, oh, I'm looking for an escape. Where do I go? Oh, I found the escape. Now I can consume again. That is the fear pathway. And that exists in every man, woman, and child, whether they realize it or not. So the smart ones create a conscious pathway, a conscious habit, a fucking vision, a spiritual pathway in your brain that takes over, and eventually, if you do it enough times, repetition is hypnosis. If you can do something without the use of any conscious resources, and you can do it effortlessly without the use of any of your conscious resources, then you've mastered it. So when you look at me talking for 29 minutes and 55 seconds straight. What do you think I've mastered? What do you think I can do all day, every second of every day without even thinking about it? Is fucking talking. So, are you going to stay in the same place? Or are you going to get more shredded? Are you going to reward yourself, slow yourself down? Or are you going to become more powerful? Or you're going to fight and you're going to win? The harder you work, the more contractile tissue you force into the universe. The more difficulty you endure, the more struggle you physically overcome, the more powerful you are. The reason why I said that thing about the construction guy who smoked cigarettes all day is, if you were physically exerting yourself and smoking cigarettes all day, literally you have a full body and brain pump every second of every day. So whenever you do something with 100% of your conscious brain and your conscious resources. People that smoke weed and lay around and just eat food all day and live really slow lives and just no energy, no contractile tissue, they're just horizontal, grazing all day mindlessly. When you talk to them or you ask them to do something or you ask them to perform a task or you ask them to exercise, when they actually do mobilize and recruit that willpower, only a tiny, small, little fraction of their brain gets mobilized. And that's fucking retarded. Why would you want to smoke weed all day and jack off and just fucking make yourself smaller and weaker when you can make yourself bigger and stronger? Like, it's so easy, you know? So the slower you live, the more you reward yourself, the more you slow yourself down and fill your belly up and just live a happy, nice, relaxed little life that takes no effort, the less powerful you become and the less control you have over your body. So are you going to stay in the same place, laying around, consuming, rewarding yourself, just relaxing? You are becoming smaller and weaker. You're going to stay in the same place. And if you don't change, you're going to die in that place you're in right now. So unless you want to die the same person you are today and you never want to change, imagine you keep doing what you've been doing for the next 50 years and you never change. Could you live with that? I couldn't. So get more shredded, nigger.